What's up, everybody? My name is Matt Monsveen, and you are on air with Radio Chatter. Joining us on the flight deck today, we got somebody real special. Who are you?
My name's Kalen Emsley. I'm an entrepreneur and a photographer. I've started a couple businesses, like co-founded a couple. One is an apparel company called Tentree. Another is an online learning platform called Creator Circuit. And then I do a lot of photography for different tourism boards, things like that.
That is amazing. Have you ever flown a small plane before?
No, I haven't.
Do you want to today?
Yeah, I would love to.
We can probably make that happen in a couple minutes here. Yeah, super excited to be here at 10,000 feet. We're over North Cascades National Park here in Washington. We got up super early at like 3 a.m. I think everybody got up. But it's like 6 a.m. now. We're getting that morning sunrise lighting. It's going to be amazing. Let's do this thing. So, Kalen, while you're shooting, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
So if I was just like, all right, see you later, and I just like bailed out with a parachute right now, who would you call as your phone a friend lifeline?
Oh my! I have to call my cousin.
Yeah.
He's
Which cousin?
my cousin Steven. I mean, he's the one that I've done. I basically went through all of his pilot training with him when he was learning to fly a helicopter. So he, I feel like he would be the best resource that I have, the closest thing that would be able to tell me how to land this thing.
How confident would you be in his ability to coach you down to a runway safely?
I feel more confident in his ability to Google it and tell me how to do it. Or did you ever watch our Dragon's Den?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was amazing. And it was like right in the golden age of like Dragon's Den. I don't know. I thought the pitch was super well done.
It's funny. We never took the deal, and it's like most people don't know this, but less than 5% of the deals that go through on the show actually close. And that's just, I mean, if you think about it, like how many deals they do on the show, they'd have to have so much money. They don't actually do that because you'd have like 100 companies and you couldn't manage dealing with all of that. So they close it on the show, but after it'll fall apart.
So you co-founded Tentree, which is absolutely incredible. And I think it's really clear through your photography and your more recent work with Creator Circuit that so Tentree is one of my favorite brands ever. And like you understood something that very few brands I think understand, which is the visual storytelling aspect to your mission. And so like what did you see in content creation and the role that content played in building the brand and like furthering your mission that like other brands didn't see at that time?
Yeah, thanks. That's cool that you mentioned that, because that's something that we really definitely did push for early on and when we built the brand, because my background's in business and tree planting. So from my perspective, I've always been a very visual person, and my thoughts were, like we can grow through social media, we can grow through different channels, but we have to have really cool and engaging content. And my thoughts were, if I go to someone's Instagram page, if I go to Tentree's Instagram page, if I go to whoever that might be, I'd look at it like, okay, if you had someone like Justin Bieber tweet or post about you, then how many people will actually follow your account? Because if you have a crappy account and you have 1 million people come see it, it's not going to matter. So what's going to keep people there? And that was really cool, really engaging content, really good storytelling. And that was just based on what I found interesting, was like, because I saw some people get mentioned by huge celebrities, and when I go look at their page, it was not that interesting, so I didn't follow. I was like, why isn't this person growing if they're getting mentioned by huge accounts? So for me, I was like, okay, this is how we're going to grow the brand. This is how we're going to show people that, wearing Tentree is something where you can be doing something aspirational, but also we wanted to have the best content when it came to tree planting, and that was honestly the harder part, was because all the groups that we work with, the charities, our partners on the ground, they're focused on their efforts. They're focused on the tree planting, on helping people in the villages, or the wherever that might be, because we're planting in over 30 countries now. So for that, it was just an interesting thing to look at these organizations and realize that they never put any priority on actually showing that they're doing what they say they're doing.
How did you initially go like, okay, I have to be the guy with the camera? Like, this is not going to be through other people.
Yeah, so really early on, when we first started the business, it was like we sort of maxed out our credit cards and maxed out our parents' credit cards. So it wasn't something where we could just go and spend a ton of money on a photographer to go visit one of our planting sites or to go shoot different items that come in once a week. Like, they want a big budget for that. So we did invest in it once. We invested, remember, it was like a $5,000 shoot when we were first starting, and the photos sucked. Like, they were not what we wanted. It was like the clothes were wrinkled.
That's a lot of money for a shoot, like especially for a startup too.
Even now, yeah, and we didn't know that. We were like, okay, we're gonna get something awesome. Like, we want to like sort of like fake it till you make it. Like, just go hard, get someone really good, and it wasn't what we wanted. So I was like, from that day on, like, we're never spending, because I pushed for that, and I'm like, we're never spending that kind of money on a shoot again. I decided that I was gonna learn, so I went on Instagram and I found my 5 favorite photographers and reached out to them and sort of said, I'll take you on a trip, kind of anywhere you want to go for a few days. The only thing is that you got to teach me photography while we do it. And at that point, there was no real courses or online like learning platforms like there are now.
Right.
So it ended up working out great. So that was how I learned. I went on 5 different trips with different photographers that taught me different elements and things like that.
Who are some of those photographers, for those who don't know?
Cal Snape was the first one. He's the one that taught me the basics. That was a great trip. We went and did a hike through Alberta, Mount Assiniboine. That was that's actually, Taylor was on that trip too.
Right. That's where you guys did the like video game, like Game Boy thing.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
It was like middle of the day, and I was like, you can't shoot in the middle of the day. And he's like, oh, you know what? You got to get creative sometimes. So that was a cool challenge. But yeah, Kalen State was one. Dylan First was another one. He's Firsty on Instagram. And then Sam Elkins, who helped teach everything I know about portrait photography. So those were the main ones. And then I did some work with a guy in Hawaii, Shibby Stiley. He's got a plethora of gear and taught me all the ins and outs of that. So each one had their own really unique element that they were able to teach, which was cool.
When I first saw your Instagram, your photography, I was immediately struck by the colors, and then I learned you're colorblind.
Yeah, red-green colorblind. So not like totally colorblind by anything.
Okay. How does that affect color grading? I guess it doesn't then. Like, if you've got a couple like different colors in the spectrum, like how do you deal with that?
I mean, it's been more of a pain in the butt when it's been like an apparel company. I was always booted from every meeting that had to do with design. So
they're like, we don't want your opinion on this.
Yeah, because it never turned out great. But for the most part, I just shoot, like you notice probably most of my feed is like it doesn't have a lot of red in it.
No.
I just and that's why I love Canon, because it was like they've always been great true color for skin tones and things like that. But yeah, it's just like when red and green are beside each other, it's hard I can't differentiate if they're the same tone, same shade. So for editing, I usually just try to shoot things that are like this, where you're not going to have a mixture of green and red.
So you got tentree, and then you since start a new project, which is Creator Circuit, man. I think that is so cool. I love Creator Circuit. So maybe you could um, talk a little bit more about like what that is for people who don't know. What's Creator Circuit?
So there was an opportunity. One of my friends, Emmett, he sort of said, you know what, we're looking at starting this thing called Creator Circuit where we're going to teach videos. It'll be something like a master class, but we'll teach videos and they're going to be short, concise, they're going to be fun, funny, but they're going to be taught by some of the biggest influencers. So it was, it's me, Emmett, his mom, and then a guy, Jacob, on Instagram.
Right.
That's
Emmett Sparling, right?
Yeah, Emmett Sparling, and then and Jacob Riglin, or just Jacob on Instagram. And so we got together and we built this website that now we've got around 250 videos on it, and it's continuing to grow. But it just teaches everything about photography, videography, even have like mental health elements around dealing with being a creator and what that lifestyle is like.
That's really helpful to have, like, and there's a community aspect to it, right? Too, because like you can ask questions to some of the creators.
Yeah. Basically, they're like online meetups where you're able to come on, and even sometimes we'll have creators come on, or some of our teachers come on and critique work, or they'll do like an edit where they'll edit your photo and stuff like that. So.
Oh, they'll edit your photo for you. That's really cool.
Yeah, we have like edit sessions and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely been something that over the last year has been a lot of like a really interesting experience.
So, all right, we're here over North Cascades right now, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about some of your favorite places that you've traveled to, because you've gone all the way from Madagascar, like you were saying earlier, to Nepal, and everywhere in between. And so I have a feeling that Hawaii might be in the top 5 list for you. But what are some of the other places that we might see in that list?
Yeah, definitely like Hawaii for sure. I'd say Madagascar 100%. That's an absolutely incredible place. And then Nepal for sure. Going up in the mountains there is absolutely incredible. I loved going to Iceland. Thought that was like absolutely beautiful place.
For sure.
And I think Italy would also be on my top. That's tough.
Honorable mentions too. Doesn't have to be just 5.
Honorable mentions. Singapore would be on that. Like Singapore it was beautiful going there. Indonesia's like all of it's pretty incredible. I'd love to do some of the areas throughout the Middle East. I think that'd be a place that'd be really cool to go. And then just spending more time in Indonesia, because that like a lot of people when they go there, they go to like Bali and areas like that. But I was on a island called Biak for most of it, which is an 8-hour flight from Bali, which is crazy, but it's still in Indonesia.
Wow. I didn't know that Indonesia was like big enough to have.
Oh yeah,
like you could travel 8 hours within the same country in an airplane.
Yeah, it's right by Papua New Guinea.
I looked at your Instagram, and I noticed, aside from Hawaii, I noticed 2 spots come up a lot, like all the time, which is Berg Lake, Mount Robson, and Mount Assiniboine. Is there something special about those 2 places for you?
Yeah, like I've done both of those hikes a number of times, and honestly, they're just 2 of my favorite. Like of all the places in the world that I've been, those are 2 of my favorite places. Berg Lake, I would think, for me, is probably like in the top 3 hikes anywhere in the world.
Wow.
And Assiniboine would be up there in the top 5. So, like a lot of people, they're always like, "Where should I go? Like, what are the coolest places?"
Right.
But I don't think enough people think like, what is there here? And in Canada, there is some absolutely incredible places. Like even going up into the Yukon, like the mountains are massive.
Kluane National Park, right?
Yeah, I went up to Kluane and did like a tourism Yukon job, and like landed on the glaciers, did like a mile-long toboggan. Like where you get going like insane speeds.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like there's so many cool places. But then when it comes to, I mean, like you just don't find mountains that big anywhere. Even in Nepal, yeah, they're big, but I think that they're like the crazy blue water, like the incredible mountains. Just, I mean, at Berg Lake, there's nights where like it feels like the ground shakes, and then you look out your tent, and then like a little iceberg's floating by.
Really?
It just fell off the glacier. Yeah, so it's just stuff like that you don't see.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but Madagascar, it was crazy because there's bioluminescence and like you're. I mean, some of the areas are so remote that you can pretty much visually see the Milky Way. Like I took a photo with my iPhone and I could see it. But yeah, that's why those places are definitely special for me. I also love shooting for the like moody weather, and I think those places give you that.
Time for a little game called Did You Dabble With It?
Okay.
So I've got some subjects, topics, pastimes, whatever. And so some of them have some truth to them, and some of them are a complete shot in the dark. And so I'll say the subject, and then you just tell us if you did indeed dabble with it.
Okay.
So let's get started. Mac DeMarco.
Mac DeMarco?
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
that's okay. LED lighting strips.
Oh yeah, I used to have one that would like light up to the beat of the music in my car when I was like 16.
Hell yeah. The Dalai Lama.
I love quotes from him.
The Canon 5D Mark III.
My first camera, yeah, loved it until I realized that like the autofocus wasn't working as well for me. So I actually still have that camera.
The Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
Yeah, I grew up loving them. That was I'm from Saskatchewan, so.
Snake plants.
Oh yeah, I got lots of those in my house. I mean, they're the easiest to take care of.
Poutine.
I mean, I feel like that just damages your stomach for quite a while. So it really depends. I have to really plan for that.
Nelder plot.
A Nelder plot?
Yeah, trees.
The crazy design?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Lawn bowling.
You know, I think in high school in like gym class we did that one day.
G-Shock watches.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have like 3 colors of them still. I went in Singapore. They had a full G-Shock store there. It's pretty sick.
Rugby shorts.
I mean, they're. Does that just mean short shorts?
Basically.
I mean, they're in style now, yeah.
Thomas the Tank Engine back in the day.
Oh yeah, that's the one with the face, the blue one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple cider vinegar.
So actually, one thing that happened to me. So in all these places that I've gone, like I've gone to like Senegal, Malawi, Malaysia, like Sudan, things like that.
Yep.
They're all places where I like when we would go in and meet with the villagers and things like that. I would eat with the locals, and there was one place where we went in, ate with the locals in Nepal. It was beautiful. It was really nice, but because it was so deforested there, they had to cook with like cow shit.
Oh no.
Yeah, so when they did that, all the like micro like bacteria gets into the air when they're cooking, gets into the food. So I ended up getting 2 parasites. My friend almost like he got so sick he was on the close to dying on that trip.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I came back, had 2 parasites. One was from eating human feces, apparently.
That like cross-contaminated it.
Yeah, somehow. And it destroyed my stomach. Since then, I have had huge issues. I can't drink beer. I can't drink wine.
Oh
Can't
my
have
God.
anything acidic. So apple cider vinegar would knock me up for like 3 days.
So no apple cider vinegar for you.
Yeah.
Noted. Okay. Bunny hugs.
Oh yeah. I don't understand how people don't know what a bunny hug is.
Purple Gatorade.
Oh no. But also, do you think people know what a bunny hug is?
Probably not. Maybe you want to fill them in.
Yeah, it's the proper name for a hoodie.
Saskatchewan only, right?
Maybe, but I mean, it's trending now.
We're gonna make it fashionable in BC.
Yeah.
The powerlifting nationals in Minot, North Dakota. I always pronounce that wrong.
Why not?
Minot.
Yeah. How did you even find that? Yeah, I had like when I was 18, I had a powerlifting world record for like a couple months, and then it got broken.
And then gymnastics. Did you do gymnastics when you were a kid?
No, I never did. But I definitely like playing around in the gym.
It shows.
I mean, I like the trampolines and stuff, having the big pits and stuff like that. It's so much fun.
Well, that's it for Did You Dabble With It. Thank you for playing with us today.
Yeah.
So this is the moment that you've all been waiting for, Kalen. We got 2 control columns for a reason here. So mine's connected to yours. So I'm always here to help you out. But yeah, are you ready to try flying for a little bit?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That'd be sick. Okay.
So yeah, basically hands on the controls, feet on the rudder pedals. So what you basically want to do is like, you ever played like a flying video game before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll have like a pretty good handle of it inherently, I think.
Okay.
But let's look straight out, and you see the distance between the dash and the horizon. So your job as a pilot is basically to maintain the same distance there the whole time. We'll start a little turn to the left. So before you do, just look to the left and see if there's any other airplanes.
Okay.
So do you see any traffic to the left?
No, nothing.
Okay. So just start rolling into the turn a little bit, and you want to look in the direction of the turn and then look straight out to make sure that you're not going up or down. It's a really good turn. And then just pass Mount Baker a little bit, and then we can roll our wings. Once you pass it, like, you can roll your wings level towards that next mountain over there.
Okay.
How's that feeling?
Feels good. How long does it take to get your pilot's license?
Depends on how many times a day you want to fly when you're doing your training. So, like, most people fly a couple times a week, and if you do it that way, it'll take you 6 months, pretty much.
Yeah.
But if you're like really committed and you have the time and the money to do it, then if you fly like twice per day, you could do it in like 2 or 3 months.
Oh yeah.
That's it. We're getting close to our final destination, and the seatbelt sign has been turned on for landing. Kalen, will turn the spotlight over to you one more time to take us home. Tell the world anything that you want to tell them, and tell us how we can find you as well.
Thanks. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and do this. This has been absolutely insane. Mount Baker's right there. But you can find me on Instagram at Kalen Emsley, and my website at kalenphoto.com is also probably another way to find me. Whoa.
You like that turn?
Yeah.
Dude, well, you can fly us as close as you want to Mount Baker. I'll make sure that we don't get too close to it. But thank you so much for joining us here at 10,000 feet on Radio Chatter. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm super stoked to see how some of those shots turn out. I can't wait.
Yeah, same.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. You know exactly what to do. Fasten your seatbelts and subscribe for more.